Hey everyone, today I've got your Dawn of the Planet of the Apes movie review. This ape-tastic sequel that's got everyone going bananas continues with Caesar and his company of apes who are trying to, battle for survival against the humans that are remaining after 10 years of the events from the first film and that simian flu. I just have to say that I really thought this was just a fantastic, great film. I had been looking forward to this for obviously a long time, and I just loved it. I still can't stop talking about it, and it's one of those movies that it was very different than any of the movies that were shown this summer, and it was just a great film. It had all of these fantastic elements about it. It's got the great storyline, it's got the great directing, the acting, the whole tone of the film was just fantastic. I really got into watching this. I have been a huge fan of the whole franchise of the Planet of the Apes. I had seen the Battle for the Planet of the Apes before I ended up going on vacation, which is how I ended up seeing this movie a week later than a lot of people out there. But when I eventually got to seeing it and I saw this movie and all these similarities between Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and Battle for the Planet of the Apes, I was like, okay, I hope nothing terribly serious happens. And in this movie, it really has those elements of suspense, and that's when all the emotion starts to come out. You see it play off with the characters and their performances. To break it down, the ape performances, obviously have to give it up to Andy Serkis coming back as Caesar. He is just a great actor, and I love the fact that he has been really immersing himself into these roles, especially doing the performance capture, which I think is a great thing that, Hollywood and the film industry has created, and just that whole technology behind it and how it worked for Avatar, and, obviously Andy Serkis being a huge veteran of this field and taking on Gollum from Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit and King Kong and just a whole bunch of other movies. So I really loved his performance, definitely as Caesar in this movie, and how much the time frame between both films have changed his personality and the way he views humans and apes differently, and whose side he wants to really end up being on. So I thought that was a really good thing. Got other newcomers. You got Judy Greer playing his mate Cornelia, who was shown slightly in the first film, and her performance, even though I wished I had seen more of her character, maybe even possibly speak. I mean, she already had a lot of work. She had a baby in the movie. She had a little cute chimpanzee baby. And they also have another son called Blue Eyes, which, he, was a really good ape as well. You've also got characters like Koba, who is played by Toby Gabel. That whole situation where you've got Caesar and Koba sort of fighting, clashing, and doing that whole spiel. So it was definitely one of those things that really put me on the edge of my seat. As far as the human performances go, you've got Jason Clarke, Kerry Russell, Gary Oldman, and Cody Smith-McPhee. Jason Clarke, was a really good actor in this, having him and Caesar sort of communicating and, talking for real. So, I thought that was really nice to see the human dynamic of this movie sort of play out. And, Gary Oldman, he's such a fantastic actor. He's one of my favorite actors of all time. And I kind of wish I saw more of him, but I felt like his performance was really downplayed in this movie. I don't know why, but it was, a pretty decent role, but maybe not as favorable or memorable. I really think, I know I should actually discuss this in another video, but I'll be brief about the whole performance capture thing and how I really think that it deserves to be recognized by the Oscars, even like Andy Serkis to be recognized by the Oscars for his like countless performances using performance capture, and how this should just really be something people should like, because it is not just being behind a camera and having all these dots all over your face. You're actually doing all of these different performances, all of these different mannerisms and movements, and it is just very cool to see. I've always loved looking at the behind the scenes footage of all that stuff. So I really liked that. And another thing that I obviously liked, as much as you know, a lot of people, even critics out there, this movie definitely had a huge selection of stunning visual effects. Weta Digital definitely did a really good job with this movie. I think the visuals from this movie definitely stepped up its game since its predecessor. And, you know, I thought it was just marvelous. It was a masterpiece. There's just so many adjectives I could use right now. And I think the visuals in this movie were some of the best I have seen this year. And I'd like to point out the opening scene alone made me literally go apeshit. You know, the balance of the apes talking versus using like the sign language that they used, you know, I kind of wished I heard them talk more. Maybe it was something that they could possibly step up in a potential third movie that I heard was being in development but not officially titled yet. And I kind of wished that I heard more talking, but I actually did love when you could just like see their movements and all that sort of stuff. So it was definitely something that I actually enjoyed watching. Actually, the action scenes were good in this movie. There were some scenes that I love, like the hashtag apes on horses. You know, all these apes moving through the fire in slow motion, wielding machine guns. So, you know, I thought that was just very wild indeed. Not once did I get bored from watching this movie. I just found it to be a thrill ride from beginning to end, so it was just very great. So super emotional, and, you know, it just really made the characters' performances stand out in the film. There were actually a couple times I wanted to tear up, but I didn't, so I held it together, and, you know, I thought it was just really great. Honestly, the 3D, I felt like I was moving along the jungle with them, even though I felt at times, you know, the 3D was kind of unnecessary, but it was kind of cool. Maybe it was my theater, I don't know. Also, I'd like to say that the score by Michael Giacchino, who, you know, has been known for scores from movies like Star Trek Into Darkness, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, and all that stuff. I think this is one of the best soundtracks I've heard, and it was slightly reminiscent to 2001: A Space Odyssey or Godzilla. Also, I'd like to mention the director Matt Reeves, who was taking over this film from Rupert Wyatt, and I thought he did an excellent job with this film. I'd have to give him props for that, because I just really enjoyed how different this movie was, you know, in scale, in tone, everything was just fantastic. And he also had worked with Cody Smith-McPhee in 2010's Let Me In, so, you know, it was definitely cool to see that. And he also made a movie like Cloverfield, which I also enjoyed. I think that this movie was just really great. I would definitely recommend seeing this. So overall, I thought that Dawn of the Planet of the Apes was one of my favorite movies of the year. I would definitely see it again and recommend seeing it if you haven't. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Which Planet of the Apes movie is your favorite? Is it this one? Let me know. And what do you guys think of performance capture being more recognized by the Oscars? And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates coming every week for a Trail Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I'll see you guys later.